Man, I sure do love being Joker from Persona 5. Wait, what are you doing?
Hungry.
What are you doing?
An exasperated mad hat at pumpkin, the exaggerated swagger of a white 20-something. His belly full of alcoholic rum gin, vodka, beer, whiskey, shake it out, no vomiting. But his glasses are the truth of the matter. He look in the mirror, all he do is get fatter. Attracted to his money like cheese to a cracker, making shit videos, cause it's only manufacturers.
So, I just watched the new season of Phineas and Ferb, and it was fine. Kind of just felt like the old show, but again, so, you know, if you want more Phineas and Ferb, there you go. Personally, though, I can't lie, as much as I liked Phineas and Ferb growing up, I would kind of just prefer if the creators, Jeff Marsh and Dan Povenmire, made a new show instead. You could make the argument that, oh, well, they tried that, but the new shows they made weren't as successful, so they canceled them. And to that, I say, real Milo Murphy heads would know that Phineas and Ferb was always stepping on Milo Murphy's turf. Doofenshmirtz literally became a main character in that show just for shits and giggles. And as for Hamster and Gretel, I have no proof of this, but I'm pretty sure that show was designed to be a tax write-off.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Jeff and Dan have very clearly always wanted to do a 5th season, but for whatever reason they couldn't. It's here now though, and putting aside my indifference for it being here in the first place, I still do like what they've put out so far. It may just be recycling shit from the old show with a fresh coat of paint, but the old show is still one of my favorite cartoons of all time, so fuck it. Just this once, I'll be a good little consumer and do some free advertising by reviewing one of the new episodes. At first, the episode we'll be talking about today flew under my radar because it's not in the first batch of episodes that was released on Disney+. It was one of the episodes released in the latter half of the season that aired on TV instead. When the episode aired and Twitter got a hold of it though, I was made aware of it thanks to this scene. What the fuck? I had to see what the actual fuck this episode was about after I saw that. So that's what we'll be talking about today. What's happening? It's your boy Dity. Welcome to Dity Minis, a show where I talk about pieces of media I find kind of interesting. Today, we'll be having a look at the Phineas and Ferb episode Attack of the Candace Suit and the writer's barely disguised fetish.
That was truly scary.
Well, it's all okay now, and everyone's safe.
Excuse me.
If you're a returning viewer, you should know by now that I hate reviews that are just recaps of whatever the review is covering. With that being said, I'm gonna briefly describe what happens in the episode just so that the rest of this video makes sense. However, I will purposefully be leaving out information just so that you can go and watch it yourself without having the experience ruined for you. You should also keep in mind that the experience in question is an episode of Phineas and Ferb, but like it's a courtesy thing, you know? And one last quick thing before we jump in. This episode is split into 2 parts because Phineas and Ferb is still doing the 11-minute episode length thing, but I'm gonna talk about it as though it's basically a full-length episode with 2 parts because it is. All right, without further ado, let's go. The first part, the Candace suit, opens with Phineas and Ferb crafting their usual invention of the day when Candace comes into the backyard and immediately starts scheming up a plan on how to bust the boys. She reasons that the recurring mysterious force that takes away the boys' inventions acts upon seeing their mother enter the backyard. So in order to trick said mysterious force, Candace decides to try and get her mom to dress up as her. That way, the mysterious force will get confused, thinking that the mom is actually Candace. Meanwhile, Perry's assignment for the episode is doing a wellness check on Doofenshmirtz because he hasn't left his house in a hot minute. That's literally it. Candace goes to Buford, who apparently has a life-sized mold of everyone in Dansville. These molds are hollow and can be worn as a sort of makeshift costume. Buford, coincidentally, just so happens to have dozens of life-size Candace molds, and this would be really creepy if we didn't already know that Buford was gay for Baljeet.
Is that dick good?
Yes, King!
How good is that dick?
Oh, amazing! Candace takes most of the Candace molds home and begins to test out her theory using Buford as a test dummy. She dresses him up using a life-sized mold of her mom, then puts a Candace mold on top of the mom mold. After sending Buford outside a few times, the invention Phineas and Ferb make, a giant pogo stick, disappears and reappears congruently in line with Candace's original theory. Probably because it's a giant fucking pogo stick. Like, no shit. But whatever, moving on. In the Perry subplot, Perry and Doof are fighting a sentient pile of mashed potatoes caused by one of Doof's innators. In the middle of a long chase sequence, a beam from the innator is misfired and hits one of the Candace suits in Buford's garage. I had a slight mispronunciation there, but I'm just going to keep going. I have to get this done. If we ignore a lot of filler stuff that I didn't mention from the middle of the episode, that's basically all that happens in part 1, as we end on a cliffhanger. Part 2 is aired much later in the season, going under the name Attack of the Candace Suit. It starts like a normal episode. Candace tries to bust the boys, Perry gets an assignment from Major Monogram, and after Candace goes to her room and complains that no one in Dansville has worse problems than her. We hard cut to Jeremy getting his fucking money up. 2 double shifts, out in the hot sun, no Bev, completely proving that bitch Candace wrong. My goat. But then, it happens. The scene that got famous on Twitter, a sentient Candace suit tries to eat Jeremy. That's right, Jeremy gets fucking vored. Almost. He manages to fight the sentient Candace off, and it retreats into an alleyway. The same alleyway that Doofenshmirtz is coincidentally walking down. And yeah, Doofenshmirtz gets eaten. The rest of the episode is a sort of parody of... What the fuck? You guys fucking hear that? I swear I fucking heard something. Alright, well, anyways, the rest of this episode is a parody of those imposter horror movies like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, with the Candace suit and Doofenshmirtz constantly getting mistaken for being the real Candace. We learn that for some reason the Candace suit really likes being referred to as the real Candace, which becomes a problem when the real Candace actually shows up and starts throwing hands. After some shenanigans, the Candace suit is pried off of Doofenshmirtz's body and it runs away, leading to more shenanigans. Later, when the Candace suit is finally cornered and captured, Buford translates a message from it, claiming that all this time, it only tried to eat people because it was lonely and desired to feel full. The group travels far north in order to unite the Candace suit with the magical old-timey bathing suit who lives in the Himalayas, a character I completely fucking forgot existed. They have sex or something, and soon after, the episode ends. Okay, so like, are we really gonna talk about it? Are we really gonna sit down and have this discussion on whether or not someone on the writing team of Phineas and fucking Ferb has a vor fetish? Alright, fine. You know what? We'll fucking do it. You win. I don't care anymore. You clicked on this fucking video. You know what you were getting into. First though, can I please talk about Phineas and Ferb's 5th season as a whole? That's honestly the only reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. I swear, hand over heart, that we'll talk about the freaky shit later, okay? I promise. Pinky swear. My water bottle crinkled, and I'm not doing another take.
I've learned respect.
I don't believe you.
These two episodes, potential fetish content aside, are standouts of the new season and highlight both justification for its existence and reasons as to why Phineas and Ferb should have stayed dead. Let's start with the positives and we'll work our way down to the negatives. For one thing, the animation in these two episodes is fantastic, as it is for the rest of the season. It's a huge step up in quality from season 4, but I will admit there's a kind of bounciness to it that kind of feels a little too over animated at times, if that makes sense. That being said, the animation really pops during scenes with a lot of movement. A particular example of this is the visualization of weight with the Candace suit. I love how it moves around. You can really just see how light and rubbery and fucked up it is. It takes a lot of skill to animate a human walking around with seemingly no bones like that. It also just looks like really fucking funny. Part 1 is probably the funniest episode in season 5 for that reason alone. All the characters drawn with the Candace molds covering them just look so fucking goofy. I can't help but just get a big smile on my face while watching. The writing is still mostly sharp. There's a few cringeworthy lines here and there from Doofenshmirtz and Buford, characters that the writers really love to force a joke out of every 5 seconds.
Hey everyone, I'm wearing a diaper.
But everything else is still pretty solid. The songs are okay. I like the one in part 2 within the context of the show, but I definitely won't be adding this to any of my playlists soon. Still, it's not bad. And finally, I really like how with this new season, while the old formula is still there, there's a lot of episodes that are trying to deviate from it in small ways, which I think is for the best. Whenever formulaic cartoons are brought up, Phineas and Ferb is almost always the first example, and that's for good reason. You know exactly how every episode of this show is gonna end, but the show knew that and just ran with it. Phineas and Ferb build an invention, Perry goes to fight Doof, Doof's and Nader makes the boys' inventions disappear, and Candace is too late to show her mom. It'd get kinda boring if every single episode was just that, even if the writing was still good, so around I wanna say season 4, the crew began to experiment with some other shit, some good, some bad. For example, I really liked the Marvel and Star Wars episodes, but the backdoor pilots for the Alka Files and Doof Files can low-key fuck off. Thankfully, season 5 has more episodes in line with the former, and I really liked the shakeup that some of these episodes have. It definitely feels like 10 years worth of ideas finally getting made to air, so I'm curious to see if the show will keep that same level of quality in the inevitable season 6, or if the writers blew their load too early and the show will end up being mid again. Speaking of mid, Hamster and Gretel! Jeff and Dan's work after Phineas and Ferb's final season, in the simplest of terms, was missed potential. Milo Murphy was good, but it ended pretty badly and it was always in Phineas and Ferb's shadow. The show never got its chance to stand on its own 2 feet, and now with the release of Phineas and Ferb season 5, that'll probably never happen. Same with Hamster and Gretel, a show I kinda thought it was whatever, but at least it was new, you know? What I'm trying to say here is that regardless of its quality, a 5th season after the 4th season's heartfelt conclusion feels extremely forced, and the effort spent on a comeback could have gone towards another new show instead of just trying to make more money on what worked before. Nothing here is anything we haven't seen. The episodes range from great to fine, so overall it's still a good show, but it's just more of the same. No major risks are being taken. It's just more Phineas and Ferb long after the show had run its course. And sure, a lot of the new stuff they do with the old characters is cool to see, but they also inadvertently fuck over a lot of late game character development in trying to keep the basic structure of the show still intact. For example, Doof is back to doing evil. Act Your Age and Milo Murphy's Law now have fucked up timelines unless the show decides to end in the exact same way as it did 13 years ago. You could be saying, hey Commodity, this is just a show meant for little dumb kids. Does it really matter all that much? And to that I say, Do you really think it's gonna be kids watching this show? Or is it gonna be young adult chuds like me who grew up on the first 4 seasons and can get all the references that the show constantly calls back to? After so much time has elapsed, they really should have had a traditional first episode that explains the formula for the new generation of kids who might not get all the shit they just expect you to know by now. But they don't. The first episode is a subversion of that formula. They kill the fucking mom!
Candace, it's okay.
You remember the magical old-timey bathing suit who lives in the Himalayas mentioned before? To a random 13-year-old watching for the first time, the ending to that episode makes no sense. They're not gonna know who that character is. Hell, I barely remembered the character myself and had to look him up after the episode finished just to make sure I wasn't having a Mandingo effect moment. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? I know I fucking heard it. To cut a long rant short, while the new season is good, the question then becomes this. Is it good enough to justify its own existence? I don't care. If Jeff and Dan are happy, if animators are getting work, and if the episodes are still good, I guess it's fine. I just think it's missed potential. Even when moving on to other shows, Phineas and Ferb still loomed in the shadows of Milo Murphy and the stupid hamster cartoon, just waiting to get that green light to finally get another season. And it leads to those other shows feeling like neglected middle children. I'm happy it's back and all, but is it so wrong to just let things die?
Let it die, let it shrivel up.
Enjoying the video? Here's your engagement check. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support this channel and give commodity money to pay for insulin.
But why do I need to do all that? Isn't my view enough?
Viewing alone is great, but doing these 4 things pushes this video in YouTube's algorithm. And if you made it this far, here's this video's prompt of the day.
It's me, evil commodity. The difference between me and regular commodity is that I'm fucking nefarious, motherfucker. Anyway, comment something that you like about Phineas and Ferb. And do you think that it should have gone on for another season? Let me know.
Bro, stop!
Alright, let's get the end of this video over with. The vor. Is it intentional? Is there really a writer on the Phineas and Ferb production staff that's into people eating each other whole? Probably not, but it's really funny to imagine that it's true. Look, even if they're not into it, this sequence looks way too detailed and fluid to just be a coincidence, right? They had to have some guy doing research on furry animators to get the movements just right and shit. My question is, whose idea was this?
I'm so hungry.
What the fuck? Bob Iger?
You look tasty.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy. Easy. All right, let's calm down. All right? Listen. You don't want to eat me. I don't have any sugar in me. I'm diabetic.
I've been looking to go on a diet anyway.
Hey, commodity, over here!
Phineas and Ferb! Indiana Jones! Robert Downey Jr.! Oh no, this is where all Disney properties go on forever! That means...
Hello everybody, it's your boy Dity, back again with some more loser anime, specifically for the 57th time. Tune in until the end to see if I can finally kill myself.
we run the city, bitch. How much I gotta pay for a titty pic?
Just want to let you know that if you're watching in spite of the YouTube content moderation thing that just came out, you're a real one, and I love you very much. Come here. Mwah! Okay. Wait, we can do one more. Mwah! Okay, get out of here, you scamp.
Got motherfucking damn commodity. Guess what? Chester Stone finna get a crib soon, dude.
Hi,
God
Chester
is good
Stone.
all the
Can
time.
you say subscribe
And I got a
to
girlfriend named Stella. Look.
Why aren't you
don't we
saying
make
it?
a perfect
Why-
couple?
I'm paying you to say
God
subscribe to
motherfucking
Commodity.
damn.
Why